Picture this. You're lying in bed at 2 in the morning. Your brain doing its best impression of a caffeinated squirrel. First, it's replaying an awkward moment from high school. Next, it's planning tomorrow's meeting. Then it spirals into existential dread about whether you should have taken up pottery 5 years ago. Congratulations, you're living exactly how Eckhart Tolle says you shouldn't. In The Power of Now, Tolle essentially offers an escape hatch from this incessant mental chatter. His pitch? Stop living in the past, quit obsessing over the future, and plant yourself firmly in the present moment. Sounds simple, right? But, as you'll soon discover, it's like trying to train a hyperactive monkey to meditate. Let's dive in. Tolle opens with some hard truths. Your mind, the thing you rely on to pay bills, remember your mom's birthday, and not walk into traffic, is also the root of most of your misery. Why? Because it's obsessed with time. Not the useful kind of time, like knowing when your next dentist appointment is. No, Tolle is talking about psychological time. Your brain's tendency to constantly drag you into the past or shove you into the future. You're either replaying old mistakes like a greatest hits album, or catastrophizing about things that haven't even happened yet. The result? You're rarely, if ever, present. And according to Tolle, the present moment is the only place where life actually exists. Think about it. You've never experienced anything outside the now. Even when you're reminiscing or planning, it's all happening in the present moment. So why does your mind keep pulling you away from it? Here's where things get spicy. Tolle introduces the concept of the ego, which is essentially the identity your mind has constructed for itself. It's the voice in your head that says, "I'm a successful doctor," or "I'm a failure because I forgot to water my plants." The ego is obsessed with defining itself, and it uses psychological time to do it. It clings to the past to build a narrative about who you are and fixates on the future to create a sense of purpose or dread. The ego isn't evil. It's just desperately insecure. But living through the ego means you're never fully alive. You're always living in a story instead of reality. The ego also thrives on comparison. Whether it's envying a coworker's promotion or feeling superior because you recycled that one time, the ego survives by measuring itself against others. This constant need for validation keeps you stuck in a loop of dissatisfaction, chasing achievements or approval that never truly satisfy. As if the ego wasn't enough, Tolle also introduces the concept of the pain body. Think of it as your emotional garbage dump. It's where all your unresolved trauma, grudges, and heartbreaks go to fester. And every so often, the pain body wakes up and says, "Hey, remember that time someone insulted you in 2008? Let's relive that for no reason." The pain body feeds on negativity. It loves drama, conflict, and self-pity. Ever pick a fight with someone you love just because you were in a bad mood? That's the pain body at work. The more you indulge it, the stronger it gets. But, and here's the twist, awareness is its kryptonite. The moment you notice the pain body in action, it starts to lose its grip. You don't have to fight it or suppress it. Just observe it. Like shining a flashlight on a shadow, awareness dissolves its power. At this point, you're probably wondering, okay, so how do I escape this mental circus? Tolle's answer is deceptively simple. Live in the now. The present moment isn't just a concept. It's where life actually unfolds. The past and future are mental constructs. The only time that truly exists is now. But here's the catch. Living in the now requires you to stop identifying with your thoughts. Most of us treat our thoughts like gospel truth. If your mind says, "I'm a failure," you believe it. Tolle's advice? Don't. Your thoughts are just mental noise. You are the awareness observing those thoughts. The present isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's mundane, washing dishes, sitting in traffic, or waiting in line. But Tolle argues that even these moments hold the key to freedom. When you're fully present, you discover a richness in life that the ego and pain body can't touch. Tolle isn't all abstract philosophy. He offers practical tools to help you anchor yourself in the present moment. Here are a few. 1. Watch your thoughts. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. Imagine your mind is a radio playing in the background. You don't have to engage with every song. Just notice what's playing. 2. Focus on your breath. Your breath is always in the now. When your mind starts spiraling, bring your attention to your breathing. It's like pressing pause on the mental chaos. 3. Feel your inner body. Tolle suggests tuning into the sensations in your body. Feel the energy in your hands, feet, or chest. This grounds you in the present and shifts your focus away from your thoughts. 4. Surrender to what is. Resistance creates suffering. Tolle advises accepting the present moment as it is, even if you don't like it. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means you stop fighting reality. 5. Use nature as a guide. Ever noticed how a tree or a bird isn't stressing about its existential purpose? Nature exists effortlessly in the now. Spending time in nature can help you reconnect with the present moment. Of course, the ego isn't going down without a fight. It'll try every trick in the book to pull you back into psychological time. Here are a few common tactics. Creating problems. The ego loves to invent problems that don't exist. Ever stress about something hypothetical, like what you'd do if you got stranded on Mars? That's the ego keeping itself entertained. Seeking validation. The ego craves external approval. It convinces you that your worth depends on other people's opinions. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Playing the victim. The ego loves a good pity party. It'll remind you of every time you've been wronged just to keep you stuck in the past. The antidote? Awareness. The moment you recognize the ego's tricks, you're no longer its puppet. Awareness transforms the ego from a tyrant into a harmless companion. Now, here's where Tolle gets a bit mystical. He argues that living in the now isn't just a mental health strategy. It's a spiritual awakening. When you're fully present, you tap into a deeper dimension of existence. Tolle calls this your being, the essence of who you are beyond your thoughts and identity. For Tolle, the present moment is sacred. It's where you connect with the universe, God, or whatever you want to call it. This might sound a bit out there, but even if you're not into spirituality, the idea holds practical value. Being present helps you experience life more fully, whether that's savoring a meal or watching a sunset. Tolle also touches on the idea of collective consciousness. When enough people live in the now, the world begins to shift. Wars, greed, and conflict stem from the ego and pain body. By transcending these, humanity could move toward a more peaceful existence. At its core, the power of now is a call to wake up. It's about realizing that life isn't happening someday. It's happening right now. The more you dwell on the past or worry about the future, the more you miss the miracle of the present. Tolle doesn't promise that living in the now will solve all your problems, but it will change your relationship with them. When you're present, problems become less overwhelming. You stop adding mental drama to them and start dealing with them as they are. Living in the now doesn't mean abandoning plans or goals. It means approaching them from a place of presence. Instead of obsessing over outcomes, you focus on the actions you can take in this moment. So, what's the takeaway here? Life is short. Too short to spend it lost in thought, replaying old regrets or chasing future fantasies. The present moment is all you have, and it's enough. Tolle's teachings aren't about adding something new to your life. They're about letting go of what's weighing you down. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Because when you stop living through the ego and start living in the now, you discover a peace that's been there all along. Next time you catch yourself spiraling into overthinking, take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs. Notice the sensations in your body. Remind yourself, this moment is all there is. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. And if you're still not convinced, just remember, your mind is like a toddler with a marker. Sometimes you just have to take it away.